Hi everyone, I'm Gayle. Welcome to this practice inspired by Earth Day, which is a celebration of life on this magnificent planet and reminding us to appreciate all the beauty and diversity and miracles that are happening all around us every day. It reminds us to have a deep reverence for this earth, which, although strong and powerful and has lasted through time, is still fragile, and we need to honor it and respect it and live our lives in a way that we are connected with nature rather than separated from nature. So this practice, we're going to focus on a lot of poses that are named after different animals in nature, different aspects of nature. This is a kind of fun way to connect with the earth and with like our own innate nature that is a miracle as well. So nature is kind of like a mirror of the miracles inside of each and every one of us. So let's start in Tadasana, mountain pose. And just notice how your feet feel connecting to the earth. And fill up with your breath. So every inhale is a celebration and inspiration, a lifting upward. And every exhale reminds us to relax and take time to restore and rejuvenate and connect. So see if you can feel the power of the breath filling up inside of you, almost like the planet Earth, like this round spherical ball of energy. And then this softening and relaxing, letting go. On your next inhale, reach your arms up. And on your exhale, let them float down. Nice. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, float down. One more time. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, float down. And notice how just with that movement and that focus, if you feel more grounded, if you feel more connected to the earth. Now let's just play a little bit with our feet. So lift your heels up off the floor and lower down. And this one's a little bit trickier. See if you can lean back just a little bit and pick the front of your feet off the floor. And lean forward, press into your toe mounds, lifting your heels up. And then press into your heels. See if you can pull the front of your feet up. So I can't pull the front of my feet up very much, but just go back and forth. And see if you can just feel that connection and maybe kind of figure out ways of finding a little more balance. Really want to have to use the muscles of the shins to pull the front of the feet up. Let's go one more time. Nice. And now notice how it feels to be connected to the earth. See if you feel a deep sense of rooting down that helps to lift you up. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up, interlace your fingers, rotate the palms up. And keeping that deep connection to the earth through your feet, reach over to your right. Inhale back to center, reach over to the left. And one more time, each side. Pressing down, reaching out. Staying connected to the earth as you move around in space. Nice. Release your arms down by your sides. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up. And on your exhale, forward fold. Connect your fingers to the earth. Step back to plank. We'll just take a few breaths here to ground ourselves. You can keep your knees lifted or lower them down. Slowly lower all the way down. Feel how the front of your body is connecting into the earth. And we're going to rise up into cobra. And exhale, lower down. We're going to do some cobra waves. So just keep lifting and lowering. And just think of the cobra, the snakes, how connected they are to the earth. the whole front of their body is in the earth. And they have a deep sense of that connection. So one more time, curl up. Feel that cobra energy, that connection to the earth through your lower body. The part that's on the ground, the part that's being earthed. And lower down. Now bring your arms out to the side. Actually, reach your arms behind you. Rotate the thumbs up. And then lift up for locust pose. Good. And lower down. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower. This time bring your arms in front of you for another variation of locust. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Bring your hands back by your sides. Curl up into your cobra. And back up into tabletop. And we'll do some cat-cows. So as you inhale, arch your back. As you exhale, round your spine. And go back and forth at your own pace, staying grounded through your hands, grounded through your legs. Next time you're in cat pose, stay in cat and just swing your hips gently from side to side. And come into cow pose, and same thing. Swing your hips from side to side. Back into tabletop, and we'll do some more cat-cows, but more like spinal waves. So start to lift from your tailbone, move through your spine until your chest lifts up and stretches forward, and then from the tailbone, round. Feeling that wave-like energy moving through your spine. Slowly, gracefully, and powerfully. And tuck your toes. Reach back into your down dog. And you can bend one knee at a time, reaching the opposite heel toward the floor, towards the ground, towards the earth. And come up onto your tiptoes, walk your feet forward, come into a squat. And just take a few breaths here. And lower your hips to the floor, come onto your backs. And give yourself a little hug, remembering to love yourself, to love the earth, to love your connection to nature. And cross your right knee over the left knee and see if you can eagle-eyes your legs. So maybe you can tuck your right toes around the inner left ankle. Maybe not, maybe just press your ankles together. And bring your left arm forward, wrap your right arm underneath. So eagle arms. And just relax your toes to the floor, your fingers to the floor on your inhale. On your exhale, lift up, tap your knees to your elbows. So we'll do that 10 times. So that's 1. Exhale, tap 2. Exhale, tap 3. Now inhale, lower. Exhale, tap 4. Inhale, lower. Exhale, tap 5. 6. 7. 3 more. 8. 9. And last one, 10. Nice, and unwrap your arms, open your arms out to the side. Keep your knees together and twist over to your right. And we'll just stay here at a nice, gentle, easy twist for a few breaths. Feeling your back and your side resting on the earth. And bring your left hip back down. Maybe center your hips if you need to. Cross your left knee above your right knee. Eagle-eyes your legs. And bring the right arm in. Wrap the left arm underneath. Relax your fingers and toes to the floor. And exhale, lift and tap. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're halfway there. 6, 7, 8, 2 more. 9, the last one. 10. Nice, relax, unwind. Open your arms out to the side and twist your knees, your legs over to the left. We'll just stay here for a few breaths, relaxing in the twist. And bring your knees back up, center your hips, and rock on up to seated. We're going to come into butterfly pose. So bring the soles of your feet together and then see if you can open your feet apart so the outer edges of your feet are touching, and use your thumbs to massage all around your feet. So we actually have 3 arches in our feet. The inside arch, the medial arch, which is obvious, we all know about. But then there's an outer arch, a lateral arch, and also a transverse arch going across the metatarsus of our feet. So it's nice to massage between those, all along those arches. We also have what we call a tripod of the foot, which is the mound of the big toe, mound of the pinky toe, and the center of the heel. And that can really help us to balance, especially when we're balancing on one foot, one leg. And just hold onto your ankles and do little cat cows. So inhale, chest forward. Exhale, ribs back. And just move back and forth, trying to bring as much grace and fluidity into the movement as you can. And come into an upright position and just lightly flutter your legs, almost like they're like wings. Let's come back into tabletop. And back into downward facing dog. Reach your right leg up for down dog splits. Then bend your knee and bring your knee in and internally rotate your knee across your body and externally rotate your knee out to the side. And just go back and forth between internal and external rotation. Maybe walk your hands a little further forward if you can. Next time your knee is externally rotated, lift up onto your back toes and pull your knee forward all the way to your hands. Maybe slide your back leg back a little bit more and puff up into your chest for pigeon pose. Your back toes can be pointed or flexed, but think of making that deep connection to the earth that brings you power and a sense of like fullness and aliveness. So when you picture a pigeon, I picture a pigeon with this big puffed up chest kind of strutting around. So just bring that kind of energy into your body now. And tuck your back toes, lift your leg up, stretch back into down dog splits. And lower your foot down. We'll practice pigeon on the other side. So in your inhale, reach your left leg up. And pull your knee into your chest and externally rotate. And internally rotate. External out to the side. Internal towards your right. External to the left. One more time, internal rotation, external rotation, and then lift up nice and high. Bring your knee all the way forward for pigeon prep. Maybe slide your back foot back a little bit more. Just puff up through your chest. Just being curious with life and being confident within yourself. And tuck your back toes. Swing your left leg all the way up and back. Down dog splits. And lower your foot to the floor, downward facing dog. We're to come into side plank. You can either bring your left foot in front of the right, or you can stack your feet and they go lifting up through your hips and reaching up through your arm. Maybe gaze up at your fingers. Push into the earth so that you keep your shoulder nice and safe. And lower your hand down. Switch sides. So pushing, grounding, lifting. Maybe gaze up at your hand. And lower your hand down. So we're going to come into side plank again, but this time we're going to add a little tree pose with our legs if you want. So coming into side plank, really ground through your hands, and then pick your left knee up, placing your foot on your inner thigh. And lift up nice and strong. And come on back down. Same thing, other side. So find your grounding first, and then pick your knee up, place your foot on your inner thigh, and lift up. Nice, lower down. And we're gonna repeat that same thing, but add on wild thing. So coming onto your right side, pick your left knee up, place your foot on your inner thigh, lift your hips up. And then just lightly step your foot behind you, open up wild thing. And come on back, downward facing dog. Pivoting onto the left side, come on into side plank. Pick your knee up, place your right foot on your left inner thigh, lift up nice and tall. And then just slowly step your foot behind you, open up wild thing. In celebration of all the wildness of nature, and coming back to downward facing dog. Lower your knees to the floor, sit back on your heels. And bring your left hand to the outside of your left foot, lift your hips up, reach your arm across, and maybe see if you can lift your chest a little bit toward the sky. And lower back down, swing your right arm behind you, lift your left arm up, press your hips forward, open your chest toward the sky, and again, reach around, lift up, and lower down, open up other side, and come back to kneeling. So the next pose we're going to play with is Camel Pose, Ustrasana. It's like a nice back bend where we're going to reach back to our heels. So let's start for the first one with our toes tucked. And just place your hands on your hip bones and rotate your pelvis back and forth. So anterior tilt, posterior tilt. Anterior lifts the back of your hips up. Posterior tilt lifts the front of your hips up. And when we do a back bend, there's a tendency to load up into the low back. We want to try and counter that by doing a little bit of a posterior tilt and lift up nice and tall. Start to lean back, release your hands, find your heels, and puff your chest forward. Keep your chin a little bit tucked so you're not just dropping your head back. And lift all the way back up. Roll out the shoulders. So you can keep your toes tucked, which will take you into a back bend that's not quite as deep as if your toes were untucked. But the same actions apply. So a little bit of a posterior tilt to the tailbone, engaging your glutes. Lift up through your chest and start to lean back. Release your hands, find your heels, and press your chest forward, your hips forward. Open up. Ustrasana, Camel Pose. And come all the way back up. So we're going to do that one more time with the option the next time to walk your hands in by the back of your knees. Now you can always stay with the first version or with the second version. So again, little pelvic tilts. Create that posterior tilt. Engage your legs, ground through your legs, connect to the earth, and then find a little lift. Reach back. Release your hands, find your feet. Press your chest forward, your hips forward, and maybe you could walk your hands forward to the back of your knees and lift all the way back up and stretch back into downward facing dog. Look towards your hands and either step or hop forward. Inhale to a flat spine. Exhale, fold. Ground down through the earth, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to your heart. And just pause for a moment. Connecting to the earth. Connecting to nature. Connecting to universal consciousness. Release your hands down by your sides, and we're going to practice a little lion's breath. So that's where you stick your tongue out and you gaze up at your third eye on an exhale. And we're going to add that in with chair pose, Utkatasana. So it's a great way to kind of release and let go and, I don't know, feel the power of the lion, the lion's roar. So starting by coming into Utkatasana. Take an inhale and exhale. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Rise all the way back up. And then release your arms down by your sides. So now we're going to play with tree pose and then eagle pose and then putting them together. So for these one-legged balance poses, it's really important to ground. Find the tripod of your foot and think of lifting up, like grounding down and lifting up simultaneously. Reach your right leg up. You can place your foot on above your ankle and just flick your toes up for balance, or just below your knee or above your knee. Reach your arms kind of in a V shape. So imagine that your fingers are like leaves. They're just really soft. And your torso is like the trunk of the tree. You have this energy of grounding into the earth. And just staying nice and steady and strong. And slowly lower down. And we'll switch sides. So remember, we don't want to sink down. We want to press down, but also lift up. So place your right foot wherever you want to, wherever you can manage, either above the ankle or up to the inner thigh, and reach up again. Broaden out so there's an opening as well as a reaching, so that you feel uplifted and connecting to the nature of the tree. Good, and release down. So eagle pose really draws us inward, and there's a wrapping around of our arms and our legs. So Bend your knees, and then you cross your left knee over your right knee. Either squeeze your ankles towards each other or hook your toes around to the inner ankle. Bring your right arm forward, wrap your left arm underneath, and see if you can sink down. Maybe touch your elbows to your knees just like we did on our backs. And then come on up. Start to separate your arms and your legs and come back to stand. Other side. So Utkatasana, chair pose. The key thing is to keep your knees bent. Otherwise, it's really hard to wrap your legs if your legs are straight. So bend your knees, cross your right knee over the left. Maybe hook your ankles. Bring the left arm forward, wrap the right arm underneath. Maybe try sinking down, see if you can touch your elbows to your knees. And then start to lift up. Open up. Almost as if you were in flight, and come back to Tadasana. All right, so you can stick with either tree or eagle. If you want to move forward, we're going to imagine like an eagle sitting in a tree. So we're going to go from tree to eagle without stepping down in between. And then we'll add on. We'll try it once, just, tree to eagle. And then we're going to go back and forth, tree, eagle, and just see how that goes. So starting off in tree pose, bring your leg up, reach your arms up. Then bend your knees, cross your left knee over your right knee, hook your toes. If you can, bring the right arm under the left arm. Start to sink down. And then as you lift up, you're going to unfurl, pull your knee up, open your arms up in tree pose. And then exhale, bend your knees, wrap your knees and your arms, sink down. Maybe tap. And one more time, let's unwind into tree pose. And then come back down, intertwining our arms and legs into eagle. And this time we'll open up like we're flying and come back to Tadasana. So let's just take a moment to digest all of that. And we'll play on the other side. So reach your right leg up. Open up. Cross your branches across your hands and fingers. And then bend your knees. Wrap the right knee on top of the left. Right arm under the left. Sink down and tap. And then unwind. Come on back up into tree pose. And back into eagle. One last time. Rise up. Into your tree pose. And back down into eagle. And this time, come on out like you're flying. And back to Tadasana. Take a moment to pause. Notice how grounded you feel. And yet with this sense of energy, like you're lifting up and grounding down and just really connecting to your own nature inside as well as to the bigger nature and the bigger consciousness. And that's really what yoga is all about, is finding those connections, appreciating ourselves, and noticing the little things that happen throughout our lives that are really great gifts for us. So let's come into a squat again. Place your hands down. And we're going to play a little bit with a pose called crow pose. It's an arm balance, and mostly I just want you to get the feeling of pressing down and lifting up. So bring your hands down. Grip your hands like you're trying to grab a piece of earth, a handful of earth from the ground. And look forward of your fingers. See if you can lift your ribs away from your thighs and lean forward just enough that your toes get really light. Keep pressing down into the earth. And sink back. Next time to go the next step, we're going to do the same thing, but just see if we can lift one foot up at a time. Key thing here is pressing down, rounding your spine, lifting up, and trying to get light on your feet with your gaze forward, not back. So again, lift up, gaze forward. When your feet feel light, lift your left foot up, lower it down, lift the right foot up, lower it down, and come back. So you can repeat that, or if you feel ready for flight, if your feet get light enough, if they feel light enough, you've got just the right balance between reaching forward and lifting up, then maybe you can play with floating your feet up. So place your hands down, really connect to the earth. Tilt forward until you get light, and then just float your feet up. And lower down. Walk back into down dog. Inhale forward to plank. Lower all the way down. Inhale, curl up, rise up, cobra. Exhale, lower down. Come down onto your forearms into Sphinx pose. Let your back relax. And bend your left knee, bring your knee out to the side. Lower your forehead to the back of your hands. This is a pose called crocodile pose. And just relax here. Let your shoulders relaxed. And pick your knee up, straighten your leg, bend the right knee out to the side. And straighten the right leg. Bring your hands back, curl up into your cobra one more time. And lower down. Press back, downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale back to down dog. And just find that cat-cow wave. Feeling the fluidity of your spine. And next time you stretch back into down dog, reach back through your heels. And walk your feet halfway forward and your hands halfway back, coming into a squat. Lower your hips to the floor and make your way onto your backs. Hug your knees into your chest. And gently rock your hips from side to side. Hold one knee in each hand and circle your knees apart from each other. And reverse the direction of your circles. And float your legs up in the air and your arms up in the air, but keep your shoulders down. So your shoulders are grounded, hips are grounded. And this is dead bug pose. I think that's such a funny name, but it's like let everything relax. So you're on your back, letting your arms relax, letting your legs relax. Feeling the fullness of your breath. And then you can bend your knees, give yourself one more big love hug. And stretch out for Savasana. Feeling that deep connection with the earth. With the whole back body grounded. There's something called earthing, which is just the idea of being outside and connecting directly with nature by walking barefoot, by hugging a tree. So just imagine you're lying on the ground, connecting to the earth in a profound, significant way. Feeling that deep connection of spirit, of energy, of life. You're welcome to stay here longer, or you can begin to bring some movement into your fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. And bend your knees, gently roll to your side. And just pause here for a moment, noticing how you feel. And using your hands, gently press your way up to a comfortable seat. Thank you so much for joining me in this celebration of earth and nature and life. I hope that you feel really connected and alive. And I would appreciate it if you would leave me a comment, let me know how you feel. Please subscribe, tell your friends, hit the like button, and hope to see you again soon. Bye.